Breaking news, folks. Wall Street is sounding the alarm. Major U.S. banks are now demanding immediate stimulus checks. And it's all because of Donald Trump's historic tariff strike. Okay. Now, this tariff strike, ladies and gentlemen, just shook the entire global economy to its core. In fact, this isn't just speculation anymore. This is real. This is unfolding right now, and it could hit your wallet harder than anything that we've seen since the 2020 lockdowns. And stock markets are tanking for the second day straight. China, they just fired back. They fired back pretty hard with some retaliatory tariffs. And now some of the biggest financial players are calling this a full-blown trade shock. But here's the real kicker, guys. Banks are begging Congress to send you money. Yes, cold, hard checks to avoid a total collapse. But why now? This is what a lot of people are asking. Why are the banks doing this now? Why are the same institutions that called inflation transitory? Y'all remember that, right? Why are they suddenly screaming for a stimulus check, right? Is Trump really leading us into a recession? Show of hands. Just drop a yes or a no in the comments down below. What do you think on that one? Is Trump leading us into a recession, or is this just a little bit of pain before a massive American economic boom? And what's the secret weapon behind the scenes that could possibly make you richer if you move fast? Well, guys, we have some exclusive details on the reconciliation bill, what economists are leaking behind closed doors, and this major wild card move that Trump is about to unleash that nobody saw coming. So anyway, stick with me, guys, because I'm going to show you guys, we have so much to cover today. We got quotes, we got the strategy, we got the truth that they don't want you to hear. And so by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly where this is heading, and you are going to know how you and your family can prepare for this. But first, all I ask, guys, drop a quick yes in the comments if you think stimulus checks should go out now, or drop a no if you're against it. Now, if you're ready for Trump to go ahead and flip the global economy on its head, do me a favor, hit the like button. Let's jump in. Oh, and of course, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. You know, you got to do that. All right. So first, let's go ahead and break down everything. Let's break it down from the top, though, because what's happening right now affects every single one of us. Okay. Like whether you're a small business owner, or a W-2 worker, or a 1099 worker, or maybe you're just trying to make rent next month. It affects everybody, okay? So there's a tsunami of financial panic that is sweeping through Washington, D.C. and Wall Street and Main Street. And the one thing that they seem to agree on, cut the checks now. So we're not just talking about some economists making quiet predictions. Guys, we're talking about leading banks, analysts, even global currency strategists are publicly stating that the U.S. economy is about to hit a wall. And the only way to cushion the crash is with immediate fiscal stimulus. And so what does this look like? Well, you got a couple of options. So option one, brand new stimulus checks passed through reconciliation, or technically through a reconciliation bill, and pushed straight into American bank accounts. Now, we've already seen something like this happen once or twice before, okay? And in fact, Trump has done it before. Option two, the Doge dividend refund checks. This is a bold plan to redistribute the unused federal funds without printing any new money, which some experts say would dampen inflation risk. Cool thing is Social Security recipients would also be, in fact, Social Security recipients would be first in line to get any of those Doge dividend stimulus checks, at least according to Elon Musk and, what was the CEO's name of that company? James Fishback. James Fishback is the guy who was basically, initially, he came up with the idea. He did the math, got in contact with President Trump. Elon Musk backed the deal. It's amazing, right? And he said Social Security recipients have been paying into the system from day one. They should be first in line. So there's no question about that. But this isn't just theoretical anymore, guys. This is a direct response to 2 days straight of market losses. global supply chains already under stress. We never really recovered from the pandemic, and retaliatory tariffs that could very well wipe out key U.S. industries if something doesn't change fast. Now, the banks are panicking. Wall Street wants answers, and the American people, well, they want relief. I mean, hedge fund managers, they're triggering options, calls, puts left and right. Algorithmic trading is literally crashing the market because of all of these key levels being triggered, and automatic stop losses are being triggered and selling out of positions. But here's the catch, guys. While some people are screaming, send the checks, other people are fearing that it could pour gasoline on inflation or even undermine Trump's economic goals. So the debate rages on. Do we ease the pain now, or do we hold the line and ride through the fire? So stick with me, guys, because I'm about to show you guys what triggered this entire chain reaction that we're dealing with right now. So let's talk about the spark that lit this fuse, like what President Trump calls Liberation Day. And when he said Liberation Day, the markets heard him and they reacted instantly. Now, on that day, he officially launched a new phase of reciprocal tariffs, changing the foreign countries exactly. These countries have been getting away with this for a long time. So they're finally charging foreign countries exactly what they charge us. And in some cases, even more. They're charging us more still. But this wasn't just symbolic. This was economic warfare. And Trump made it very clear. This is personal. This is patriotic. This is how we make America rich again. I stole that one from Trump. He said, make America rich again. Is anybody else okay with that? I'm okay with it. So his critics call it reckless. He calls it finally standing up. Now, for decades, America has allowed these foreign nations, like from anywhere from China to Vietnam to Mexico, to dump their cheap goods into our markets with little to no tariffs. Meanwhile, they hammer our exports with taxes, regulations, red tape, and their own tariffs. Trump's response? Enough is enough. Enough is enough. If they hit our steel, we hit theirs. If they hit our beef, we tax their tech. If they block our exports, we retaliate immediately. And Trump's not hiding from the consequences either. He said it plainly. He said, hey, there will be some short-term pain, but this is how we win long-term. This is what he said. And, you know, while DC insiders and Washington, DC elites clutch their pearls, oh my God, the markets are crashing. Millions of everyday Americans, especially in manufacturing towns, rural America, and the heartland, they're saying it's about time. They've watched their towns hollow out. Some towns don't even have a Walmart. Some towns don't have a Costco. They don't have a BJ Sam's Club. They don't have a freaking Sam's Club. Did I say Sam's Club? I might have said Sam's Club already. But they don't have a lot of things that we take for granted, is what I'm saying, right? They've watched their factories close down, jobs shipped overseas, local economies destroyed. And so now, for the first time in a long time, the tariffs are already having ripple effects. Stock drops? Check. Foreign governments scrambling to call Trump? Yes, also that. Vietnam is also reportedly offering to zero their tariffs just to avoid the next round. This is power, guys. And Trump isn't using it unapologetically. And now the question is this: will the system hold? And if not, will stimulus checks be the only thing standing between Main Street and financial bloodbaths? Well, stick with me, guys, because we're about to do a deep dive into how China retaliated within 24 hours. They were ready, targeting our economy with precision. They were ready. You don't accidentally make a bullseye from 1,000 yards away. They were ready. And also, we're going to talk about why the stock market responded like a full-blown panic attack. And so within 24 hours of Trump's, by the way, guys, if you're just now joining live, hit the like button for me. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate your support, guys. Within 24 hours of Trump's tariffs going live, China struck back with a vengeance. They hit us with 34% retaliatory tariffs. And this wasn't just some symbolic slap on the wrist. This was a direct hit. It was a direct hit to critical sectors. So this was premeditated. China knew what they were doing. China said, hey, if Trump does this, we're going to do that. They were ready. There's no way you execute this within 24 hours unless you were ready, okay? Pharmaceuticals, which, let's be honest, we don't even make that stuff here anymore, right? Okay, so they hit us there. Agriculture, including chicken, which is a massive export for U.S. farmers. Defense-related components, yes. Talking about the Pentagon itself, relying on parts outsourced from China. And to top it all off, they blacklisted 11 American companies, labeling them as unreliable entities. So think about that, guys. We're not just talking about some trade war anymore. We're talking about strategic escalation on a global scale, and your job, your savings, your 401k investments could be caught in the crossfire. And guess what? That retaliation alongside Trump's no back down stance, it's just making headlines. I should say it depends on what circles you're in. If you're watching mainstream media, it's not making headlines. I'll tell you that much. It's making the markets bleed. That's what it's doing. For the second day straight. Now, if the markets were open on the weekend, they would be likely crashing as well, right? But for the second day straight, we saw a brutal sell-off. The Dow Jones tanked. The NASDAQ followed. And let's not forget about the S&P 500. That was down too, right? And now banks are whispering that the media doesn't want to shout yet. Okay. The banks are making noise, but the media doesn't want to give them a platform to speak out on yet, but we're going to do it here. A 60% chance of a global recession, not next year, guys, not next quarter, right now. Think about that. And the scariest part, the markets are already pricing in a recession, meaning the big players already believe this thing is happening right now. Okay. And so that's why they're dumping stock. That's why they're shorting positions. That's why they're hedging their investments like crazy. Wall Street analysts, they're calling this a full-blown trade shock. And major funds are scrambling to figure out if this is just a dip or is the first domino? Is this the first domino in something much, much bigger? Because this is just the beginning, guys. Remember, April 1st, I think it was April 2nd, Trump said he didn't want to start the tariff on April 1st because he didn't want anyone to take April Fool's Day and his announcement of these tariffs as a joke or just kidding. So he waited till April 2nd. So we're only a couple days into this thing. So where does this leave the average American? Caught in the middle, once again, between political strategy and global retaliation. I mean, thank God they're not, sending nukes our way yet. And so this is, that's exactly why we're seeing this sudden push for stimulus checks to be passed through Congress immediately. Not for political brownie points, but to prevent a total free fall. And yes, this all leads right into the next critical question. What are the experts actually saying behind the scenes? What are they saying? Like, why is one Deutsche Bank analyst warning that if Trump doesn't reverse course, this could collapse the economy? Now, this is Deutsche Bank, okay? I think Deutsche Bank's even bigger than Bank of America. So it's a pretty big bank, okay? They've got a lot of pull. They got a lot of reach. And they're asking for stimulus checks. Or I should say, this Deutsche Bank analyst is warning that if Trump doesn't reverse course, this could collapse the economy. But what's happened inside of Congress right now that could send out stimulus checks and pay back tax credits in record time? Well, stick with me, guys, because we're going to break down the warnings from top economists. We're going to break down the gridlock inside of Washington, D.C., and why Treasury Secretary Bessent may have just made things more interesting. I'll just say that. So let's keep the momentum going. You already heard what China did. You've seen what's happened to the stock market. Now, Trump's not scared. Trump, hey, Art of the Deal. Have you guys read the book? I've only read parts of Art of the Deal. It's a pretty good book. I just didn't get through the whole book, but the man knows what he's doing. Now, let's pull the curtain back on what the bankers, economists, and Washington insiders are quietly saying, and why their warnings are starting to echo through Congress. So George, was it Saravelos? I think it's George Saravelos. He's a leading currency expert at Deutsche Bank. This guy, he normally speaks in quiet boardrooms and fine print, right? He's now on record saying the only way to stop a global crash is immediate fiscal stimulus. Let me repeat that, guys. Not maybe, not later, not if needed, now or else. It's a pretty big warning. That's a pretty big warning. Saravelos warned that unless Trump reverses the tariffs, which, I mean, let's be honest, guys, Trump's not going to do that. The only circuit breaker, like, not a real circuit breaker like in your basement or in your garage, but like the only economic circuit breaker that can prevent a full-blown collapse is a direct cash injection into the hands of everyday Americans. Whew, I don't know. What do you think about that? And he's not alone, though. Banks, hedge funds, corporate CEOs, they're all scrambling to prepare for the fallout. And many people they're now pushing Washington to step in before it's too late. But the question is, will Congress move fast enough? And so right now, behind closed doors, Congress is drafting a reconciliation bill that very well could send out direct stimulus checks, retroactive tax payments, paychecks for households that were hit hardest by the tariffs. Are we seeing a recurring theme before? Like I feel like I've already lived this before, like 4 years ago, 2025, like 5 years ago. I feel like we've already done this before. We've had these conversations before, and we kind of saw what happened. A little bit of deja vu, and you guys might be feeling that too. I don't know if you are. But yeah, so they're not talking about next year. They're talking about this. They're talking about this year. They're talking about now. And so here's the twist. Treasury Secretary Bessent, who was expected calm markets, he refused to support these measures after Trump's trade announcement. And that one move sent market confidence crashing further. Now, you guys might have seen that interview with Trump's Treasury Secretary's Bessent with CNN's Caitlin Collins. I did a video about this couple lives back. Anyway, so Republican leadership is saying that they may not act until summertime. But folks, that might be too late. In fact, the experts are already saying in plain language, if we wait, the damage could already be done. So this whole reconciliation bill is shaping up to be one of the most urgent fiscal packages we've seen since the COVID shutdown and lockdowns. But will the politicians move, or will they just kind of keep playing politics as Main Street crumbles and lays victim? Well, listen, guys, if you guys are watching this and you're thinking, man, I can't depend on Washington, D.C. to save me, you're absolutely right. And it doesn't matter who's in the White House. And so this is why I created the course. Stop living paycheck to paycheck, guys. If you've ever felt like you're just one bad headline away from being financially wiped out. Like you're one bad headline away from financial meltdown. This course is for you. Now, I walk you through step by step how I escaped the cycle, built savings, protected my family, and how you can too. Now, I'll leave a link for you guys in the description down below for that. And if you want to connect with others who feel the same way that you do, join us over in the Liberty Pursuit Network. I left a link for you guys in the description of this video as well. I might even leave a pinned comment. You don't have to face this economic storm alone. We're building a real community, real freedom, one step at a time. So links in the description down below. Now, what about you guys? Do you think we should pass stimulus checks right now, or should we just go ahead and hold the line and take the pain? In just a minute, I'm going to show you guys how Americans across the country are reacting in real time, from emotional yes votes to hardcore no's, and the wild comments that are flooding in during President Trump's latest rally. So stick with me, guys, because we're about to deep dive into public sentiment and voter polling and how Main Street versus Wall Street is ultimately shaping this entire narrative. So let's continue. So this is where things get real, because while Washington plays politics and Wall Street crunches numbers, the people, they're already making up their minds. Right now, in my inbox, in the comments, in the live chats, Americans are already sounding off. Look in the comments now. Some people are yelling, yes, send the checks. Others are firmly saying, no, not again, not this way. And I want to know where you stand. If you think stimulus checks should be sent out immediately, drop a yes in the comments. If you think they're unnecessary or they're inflationary, drop a no. It's okay. But and also, if you support Trump's tough stance and you believe this short-term pain is going to be worth the long-term reward, drop a 47 in the comments, or drop a 47 in the chat. I want to see where you guys stand on that. And it's not just a number, it's a message. It's a signal that you're standing for America first and you're not backing down from this thing. And let me tell you guys, the divide is real. Some people are out here on both sides of the spectrum. Some people are saying, I knew we shouldn't have voted for Trump, and look what happened. Others are saying, hey, I voted for Trump and he's doing what he promised that he was going to do. Let's let this thing ride through. So I want to see where you guys are at on this, because, not everybody's in agreement, and I get it. It's okay. We can agree and still be friends. I mean, you got families living paycheck to paycheck saying that they can't take one more hit without help. You got patriots out here saying that, we've got to rip off the Band-Aid and rebuild manufacturing no matter what it costs. And meanwhile, millions of Americans are just trying to figure out, well, what happens if they lose their job next week, right? So where do you land? Let me know in the comments, guys, because this next part, it's the heart of the storm. So let's talk about what's actually happening to Main Street. Because while Wall Street watches numbers on the screens, actual Americans are feeling the heat. Textile mills gone. Most shirts in America are made where? Show of hands, guys. Most shirts sold in America are made in like Vietnam or China. Auto factories, bare bones. We got like warehouses. We don't really have super skilled workers. Farmers, nervous. They're really dealing with thin margins, and now tariffs on exports, they're squeezing those margins even harder. These tariffs are not just headlines. They're triggering a ripple effect that could collapse local economies if something doesn't give. Matter of fact, guys, I stopped going to Chipotle because they were always gypping me on chicken. I hate that, right? I just stopped going. I'm like, hey, if you guys are gonna keep doing this, I'm not gonna do business with you anymore. So I don't go there, right? But anyway, my wife and son went to Chipotle, and she told me that the Chipotle bowls are $2 less than they were. Meaning, and I asked her, I was like, did they update the signage on the wall there, like when you're ordering? She said, yeah, all the bowls. Well, we only order the chicken, so I don't know about the other meats, but I know she said for a fact that the chicken bowls are $2 less. I don't know if you guys are seeing that anywhere, but I don't know if that has anything to do with the tariffs or something else. But anyway, here's the kicker, guys. If this reset works, we could see manufacturing boom back in this country. But if it doesn't, we're looking at deeper unemployment, inflation spikes, and years of instability. And so this is why the stimulus checks conversation isn't just about the cash. It's about survival for millions of Americans. And the biggest frustration that I'm seeing from you guys, why wasn't this fixed 20 years ago? Why are we always the ones paying the price when elites make these decisions? These are fair questions. And they're why so many people are rallying behind Trump's approach, despite the turbulence. So coming up, guys, we're going to expose what Trump, Eric Trump, Bill Ackman, Nancy Pelosi, even CEOs from across industries across America are saying about this trade war. And you're going to want to know, you're going to want to hear, you're going to want to understand how they're reacting, because some of the responses are going to shock you. So, all right, we've all seen the chaos, the tariffs, the retaliation, the calls for emergency checks. But now it's time to break down what the power players are actually saying and why it might change everything. So let's take it from the top, right? So Donald Trump himself, he's calling this moment a necessary Band-Aid rip, a short burst of pain to stop decades of slow decline. He also said that the economy is going to boom, that America will be richer than ever, and that this is how we win again. And he's not alone. Eric Trump, he warned foreign countries that the first to negotiate with Trump will win, and the last, they're going to lose. Then you got billionaire hedge fund manager Bill Ackman. If you ever watch CNBC, he's always on CNBC, investing in something, buying stuff up, making deals. Anyway, so Bill Ackman, billionaire hedge fund Bill Ackman, he said foreign leaders should call Trump immediately or risk missing the deal train entirely. Even Restoration Hardware CEO and industry leaders in beef, textiles, and pharma, they're all admitting he's playing hardball. And they're watching the old system fall apart in real time. Now, on the flip side to it, you got Nancy Pelosi, you got Democratic leadership. They're pushing to kill the tariffs entirely, warning they'll ignite runaway inflation and crush consumers already who are drowning in debt. Now, the divide is very sharp. The stakes, they're even sharper. But there's a few critical updates you need to know about. The Doge dividend checks still being considered behind the scenes, possibly alongside with some new stimulus. USMCA negotiations, those are heating up. Mexico and Canada, they want deals before they get hit too. I hope you guys saw that video I did. The Prime Minister, see the Prime Minister? Prime Minister or the Premier of Canada, he had said that he wanted to inflict as much pain on the American people as possible. And then days later, he apparently got cold feet and said, hey, we're willing to bring our tariffs down to zero as long as Trump doesn't introduce new tariffs. It's funny, he was talking all this talking tough, and then he realized, oh damn, don't do those tariffs, Trump. So we're going to see more and more countries do that, where they say, hey, look, we haven't been playing fair. Okay, we'll lower our tariffs. Just don't initiate your tariffs. Look at Vietnam. They did the same thing. Look at Israel. They're doing the same thing. So countries are realizing, hey, Trump does have the upper hand. We have to play ball. They have to play ball. Anyway, the Federal Reserve is now pricing in up to 5 interest rate cuts this year. This is a full reversal from their 2024 stance. Jerome Powell got on, it was a couple weeks ago, and he said that there would only be like 2 interest rate cuts this year. How many of you guys remember that? Now he's claiming that there's going to be 5. That's huge. I don't know if we're talking about quarter point rate cuts, half a point rate cuts. We have seen 0.75% or 0.75 point rate cuts. We've seen that before. Not in a while, but we have seen it. So 5 rate cuts could be substantial. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what he's going to do. Like, in other words, I don't know how much rate cutting he's going to be doing, but I'm just going to say, like, on the wild side, he could do something like 5 75-point rate cuts. I don't think it's likely that he's going to do that. But if interest rates for homes right now is 7%, and he were to do 5 75-point rate cuts, that would lower interest rates down to 3% and change, like 3.25%. That would make mortgage payments drop dramatically for, if you're looking to refinance your home or purchase a new house, whatever the case might be. Even automobile loans. Also, Fed rates tend to affect the credit card loan rates. Anyway, so that would be huge. Now, if, Jerome Powell did something like, okay, maybe does 25 basis point rate cuts, we'd be looking at a total of 125 basis points reduction. And so if mortgage interest rates are 7 right now and he lowered it by, 1.25, then you're looking at 5.75% interest rates. People will start going to buy houses at that point. That's enough of a lowering of the mortgage rates to entice people to want to come out and start spending some money, I think. But again, this is a full reversal from their 2024 stance. And the mess left from the Biden spending spree, it's still inflating the cost of everything from gas to groceries. Make no mistake, the entire world is watching Trump, and how America responds to this moment will set the tone for at least the next decade, guys. So this is more than policy. It's psychological warfare. We are watching a patriotic reset in real time, guys. Trump's not playing the economic game. He's playing the narrative. And his message is crystal clear here. We've been ripped off. It's time to hit back. Hold the line. It's going to hurt, but it's going to work. So it's time to put on our faith suits and ride this one out, because I don't think Trump's trying to back down on this, and he's not showing any weakness here. And many Americans agree with him. They're tired of soft leaders, fake recovery stories, and gaslighting from the media. This is why Main Street cheers while Wall Street panics. This is why ranchers, truckers, and small business owners are backing Trump even when the market dips. And hey, I've got money in the market too. I'm losing my ASS right now. Okay. But if you guys have been watching, I always say, keep some dry powder for times like this. That's why I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about this. In fact, I'm looking for the opportunities. I'm scoping them out. And I've been strategically preparing for this. And these are the kind of conversations we have outside of here. I left some helpful links for you guys down below if you want to join us over there, guys. But yeah, these folks who are behind Trump and believe in Trump's plan are not scared of the pain. They just want to know that someone's finally fighting for them. So the question now is this: where do you stand? Do you support the tariffs? Do you want those checks sent out now? Drop a yes, no, or a 47 in the comments and let your voice be heard. Now, if you guys are done waiting for the government to save you, I want to personally invite you, check out the course. Stop living paycheck to paycheck now. You'll learn exactly how to protect your income, how to build emergency reserves, and how to start investing no matter what happens, how to make money when the market goes up and down, or I should say when the market goes up or down, and how to get your money to work harder than you do. Or you can come over and join our private community, the Liberty Pursuit Network. This is a network of action takers, patriots, and people just like you who are preparing for what is coming. People are preparing for what's coming, and they're not panicking from the sidelines. Now, you don't have to face this alone. You don't have to live in fear. You just have to take the first step. So links in the description down below. I'll even maybe leave a pinned comment. Hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe for breaking updates. This is Ron Yates signing off. Stay alert, stay strong, keep the faith, and remember, make America rich again starts with you. All right, guys, bye.